Now then everyone, I've no idea if you'll be able to hear this but because of the wind, but I've just arrived in Scotland for a flying visit just to remind myself of the Fling route. I'm hiking up Conic Hill now, as you can see Lomond, Loch Lomond maybe behind me. So this is the reverse of what we do on race day. The last time I came flying down here, or what I thought was flying down, was 4 years ago, and the race was going okay until I ran into a tree. And it still went okay, just probably potential to do better. So this evening, well, I've driven up. This evening I'm just having a look at Conic Hill and the descent from there, just to remind myself more than anything. And then tomorrow I'm out with a couple of guys that I coach, Stu and Ewan, and we're going to go Loch side. So if you haven't seen that before and you're planning on doing the Fling in the future, or you just want to remind yourself how beautiful and easy it is Loch side, Loch Lomond, you'll be able to see tomorrow. Yeah, so that didn't take too long, about 20 and a bit minutes. This is well, that's the summit just there. You don't actually come to the summit in the race. Let me see if I can show you. Along this path here, you come along, head out down that way when it focuses, and then it follows the shoreline of the loch. So if you're looking for a recce, you can either park at the bottom or stay in the hotel, the Oak Tree, like I've done, and then you can just come up, hike up here and then see the descent back down. So right at the highest point of that long climb up Conic Hill, like I say, we don't actually hit the summit, but you still get some great views before the descent. And then as soon as you start descending, it's probably a good idea if you look at your feet more than the loch, if I'm honest, from previous experience. So you can see it's not massively technical. What there is though is kind of the big old steps that are almost in the way more than helping you out. So you just gotta make sure when you come off the top of that hill, ready to concentrate, because the last thing you want is to kind of over-egg it on the descent or do an ankle or anything like that before you get to the bottom of Conic Hill, which is really where the race starts. Near the bottom of that you hit these steps that are behind me, and you have really got to be careful on them because some of them are eroded, so you can trip on the kind of where it's packed in. It's tempting to go down the side, but then there's lots of loose stone, so yeah, it's just not a place to try and hammer down really. Maybe if you're at the front, like some of the guys will be, and girls, but yeah, in general, just play it safe down there, because then you'll hit the woods. Once you hit the tree line, and there's like a kissing gate coming up, you know it's a nice smooth track down to Loch side then. Here we go. So we're back down and the hotel is literally there, so I've picked a good spot. But this is why I love doing recce's, because I can enjoy going up and down Conic Hill for a change, and I can enjoy kind of seeing the view of the loch rather than I'd have hit this head down. I'm probably trying to smash some food down me, some gels, and I'd miss stuff like this. So that's why I enjoy trying to get out for recce's. before the races. So I'm going to go back to the hotel now, grab some tea with the lads. They should be here, but I think in time for that, and then lie on the bed watching Wales play France, and hopefully we can make a game of it. But if you're a rugby fan and been watching the Six Nations, you'll know that that's going to be a tough ask. Anyway, we will catch up in the morning. So here we go, that's Ewan in front of us, and it was a pretty wet start if I'm honest, so there wasn't much commentary. This is what the first kind of 12k to Inversnaid from Rowardennan looks like. Then after Inversnaid, it does get more technical, so you have to use your hands a bit. There's lots of climbing up big boulders, steps that you have to climb up to, so just take your time through this part.
Whoa. Supposed to film me when I'm running.
Because it was really wet, couldn't really get the camera out too much, but you can see here the route onto Beinglas from Inversnaid is about 10k. After about 7k of that really technical part, it just becomes really wet if it's had any rain in the week beforehand. I don't think it's ever going to be dry, that section. You can see I've fallen, hit my knee at that. But you do get rewarded after that tough section, about, like I say, about 8k in total. There's a nice downhill runnable track into Beinglas, so if you're feeling good, it might be a bit of a chance to push on down the hill. Still have to be careful, a few roots, kind of trees in the way, but hopefully on the day there'll be nice blue skies, dry trails, and you'll be able to run well at this point into Beinglas. So that's the section up to Beinglas, and the lads have just gone to use the toilet and grab a drink, I think. But yeah, it wasn't without events, a few slips and falls. If it is wet on the day, then the aim of the game through that section is just to look after yourself and be smooth through it, rather than trying to power through, I think. Yeah, we weren't exactly pushing things, and we've all managed to slip over at least once. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into the section up to Beinglas. We are going to run back now, out and back, rather than push on to the finish. And it's definitely worthwhile seeing the route, so hopefully seeing a bit of it on that video will help you if you can't go and see it for recce. But I'd highly recommend just going to do parts of the Highland Way anyway, the West Highland Way. And I will catch you later on.